Hi cuties, welcome back to the garden, and today I'm going to be talking about purple cabbages, one of my favorite vegetables. So here I have what I got at the plant store, and this I got months ago where I just didn't have space in the garden to plant them, but once I harvest my older cabbages, I plan to put these down to grow further. And basically, they come in usually a pack of 6 at the nursery, and then you just plant these in the garden. Look how cute they are. So, what I've done to grow my cabbages, which really doesn't take that much work, is I put them down. I put the babies in the garden. It takes a couple months or so, and then it grows. And while it's growing, I just harvest out the outer leaves so that way it encourages the cabbage to form a head. So basically like this, I'll show you. So with the younger cabbage, I snip off the outer leaves like this, especially if they're not healthy looking. So, see, oops, there we go. So that helps with the head formation. It's still fairly young with really small leaves, so I'm going to let that grow a little bit before I snip off more. But this guy, he's pretty much ready to be harvested, kind of. It's really tiny, this little ball here, but I don't think that it's going to get much bigger. I might leave this one because it might get bigger. This ball is just really small. It's like smaller than a tennis ball, so I might leave this guy. I want to also note that it's important to check your cabbages for these white moths that lay eggs, and then you get like cabbage worms that eat at the cabbage. I usually check the inside and outside leaves to see if there are any cabbage worms, and if there are, just pick them off and put them back in the dirt. And that helps, especially for the young cabbages. The more mature cabbages usually do okay with the cabbage worms, but if I see them, I still pick it off. If I have one, I'll show you, but I think because the weather is getting cooler, we don't have as many of those pests in here. You guys remember the celery that I replanted from the grocery store? This is it. It's growing lots of flowers, and it's getting really tall. I might have to remove it, but it looks pretty, and I still use some of the stalks for cooking. I just remove the flowers, and for me it tastes fine. So you'll see some of the residue of the cabbage worm. I don't know if that's like some of the green stuff is what I've noticed that they produce when they have eggs there. So the ball here is fairly small too. I might not harvest these if the internal head of the cabbage is this small. Let's see if we can find a bigger one. Maybe the one in the back. It looks like it might still be forming. So I might come back in a couple of weeks to harvest. Otherwise, even if the heads don't form, you can still eat the leaves, so it's not a huge deal either way. I'm gonna just try to see if I can continue helping it along by cutting off the outer leaves, like so. You see the bottom leaves aren't really that healthy. They're not as shiny. Like this guy here, compared to like the leaves in here versus outside here, you can tell this one is not as healthy. So I'm just gonna cut this guy off, and hopefully it can devote more energy to growing the head of the cabbage. Same thing with this guy, and the sorrel is growing a lot, so that's what these guys are. So I might just leave it in the garden, let it decompose. I might cut it up a little bit further to make it easier for it to decompose. But yeah, that's what I'll do. And I love the taste of these cabbages. They're great marinated with some soy sauce and rice wine vinegar and some salt and sugar. It tastes really good. So hopefully this will help produce bigger heads. And there's an older leaf over here, so I'm going to just trace it back to where it's coming from, and then I'll just do a snip, and there it is. Okay, so here are my cabbages, and I'm going to not harvest them today, but I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I do harvest. Hi cuties! So it's been about 2 weeks since our last video, and I'm really glad I held off on harvesting the cabbages. See here, they're getting more, the heads are getting bigger and the leaves are coming in more to wrap that head, so that way it's more dense with leaves. See here, when I touch them, they feel like they're bigger and also denser. So here's our little baby over here. There's our baby, and you can see that the leaves here are coming together, starting to form around the middle. So yeah, I'm really glad I waited, and I really think that there might be, it probably will take more time for the leaves to wrap around that middle head area. So I'm actually going to hold off on harvesting. These have been in the ground all summer, so it's been about probably 3 months now. So it's taken some time to grow, but I think cabbages, the brassica family of plants, they do pretty well in the autumn. So I'm just gonna let it stay in ground probably another week or so to see if the heads get even bigger. I'll keep you posted. Hi cuties! So it's been a few more weeks in the little garden, and I'm checking up on our purple cabbages. You'll see that I continue to remove the outer leaves of the cabbage, and it's really helped with tightening the center. If you put your hands in there, you can feel like the firmness of the middle, and this guy has gotten more firm. So it's been about 3 weeks since our last check-in, and in my experience, I don't think these cabbages get much bigger. So I think I'm going to pull this guy so I can make space and plant other crops. So here he is. Look at that. I'm going to pull it like this. I'm going to pull it like this. Whoa, look at that. These are some long roots. I'm just going to wipe this off so I don't trail dirt everywhere. And there we have it, our first purple cabbage of this year, and I'm super excited to cook with it. Sometimes I make a coleslaw, or you can also stir fry it. Quite delicious. So I hope you enjoyed our journey with purple cabbage. I'm going to give you another go around of the garden, and you'll see here that our little tomato plant is just bursting with so many tomatoes. You might recall that I had an extremely leggy tomato plant that I overwintered, and I had trimmed off that tomato plant and grew a new tomato plant, and this is the new tomato plant, and it did not disappoint. It's so abundant with so many tomatoes, and I'm really happy how it turned out. I'll link in the description the original video of that really tall, leggy, it was like at least 4 feet tall tomato plant that I had to reduce in its size. This is the result of that, is that I have a new tomato plant that produced more tomatoes. All right, cuties, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.